All right. How we doing? Are we live? Good. There we go. Okay, everyone. Welcome to SEO this week. It's episode 171. Been probably about a month now since I held an episode. One, I didn't have a whole lot to say about the news and the SEO world, and then two, I was building my one of my courses. So I built if you don't know, I built whatranks.com, and on there I have a course on geez, what was it about? Oh yeah, schema. I have a course on schema going on there, and it is 40 videos, 38 to 40 videos. I can't remember the exact number. On schema, we have some templates that I have some templates in there. For most of the schemas, I show you how to use the schema.org website to actually make a big, nice built out schema. And then I give you some templates, which honestly, to be all honest, is like showing you how to use schema.org and then giving you templates so you don't have to use schema.org. It was kind of redundant to me, but people wanted templates, so I gave them some templates, give them a good idea, give everyone a good idea where to start off, etc. So those are done. It's at whatranks.com. It's $297 right now. I hope you guys go check it out. A lot of people have bought so far. I've only done a quote unquote soft launch. The checkout page doesn't even have branding or anything on it. So it's kind of just like it's just there. And it's like I said, there's a bunch of people in there right now going through it. I'm getting some great comments about it. And I hope you check it out. With that, I'm also building a on-page course, and I'm rebuilding Digital Ear to do that. So, and it's kind of like I had to do it. I have to rebuild Digital Ear, and the reason I have to do it is because the over the top SEO, we're just having some problems over there, the COVID and whatever else you want to make excuses for, but they're having some problems over there. So I'm kind of moving back into my own direction of rebuilding Digital Ear now. I'm still ranking over the top SEO and a lot of their website, but it's not my number one focus anymore. So with that being said, I had to get my own agency back in order because I shut that down to working over the top. And then going at the same time, I'm going to build the on-page SEO course that people have been asking me for like forever, and I just haven't gotten around to doing it. So I'm going to rebuild Digital Ear on the on-page course. I'm going to continue building an affiliate course as part of, or not affiliate course, an affiliate site as part of that, and then I'm going to build some lead gen stuff, just for PPL. If you want to, go that route of affiliate stuff. I don't really want to sell the calls to clients, so I'm probably going to do like maybe partnerships. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. But I just want to, you got to get the site up and make it generating phone calls first, right? Before you can sell the phone numbers. So that's just the way it's going to be. I think that and then what was the other one? There's one other one I wanted to try as part of that course is the a directory style site. Just for my local area, because we got a lot of problems with businesses in our local area. Um, Unfortunately, there's probably, I think, to say there's more duds than there are successes here. So we want to go through and we have a city rant and rave kind of Facebook group, and just go through and find businesses that are ranted about and build a directory about that and see how Google responds to it. Is because, as you know, the Google did their little quasi update. Was it last week? And I was gonna come back on last week, and then that update thing happened. And what I was is a mistake. So we seen it 2 weeks ago inside of the rehab market, and they did what all you guys saw site wide, right? They essentially knocked every real local rehab out of the search results, put nothing but pure directories in it, and then pretty much screwed everyone. Unless you were in a directory, you weren't ranking on the first page. And then that new update just happened in local. Primarily, you saw all the directories showed up. Every real local business got knocked out of the first page. And then more, all these new directories that everyone's making because Google likes directories, they all bumbled to the surface in this new push. And as like the rehab thing, we kind of freaked out, like what the hell's going on, because it's not uncommon for Google to mess with the rehab SERPs and change things and change how the rules are for everybody, right? So we kind of freaked out a little bit, and then we realized how bad it was, and then Google started rolling it back as we were kind of fine tuning and seeing what was going on. So we got all our rankings back from that. And then when it happened last week, I believe it was last week, right? When it happened last week, I knew right away it was the same thing. Saw it before, and as bad as the results turned out to be, you knew that they had to roll it back. So everyone's freaking out, and I just didn't want to deal with that last week. So we didn't have the episode last week. And then was it 2 days ago? Google supposedly rolled out another one. Just because the the SEM Rush rollout meter or whatever the hell it's called, said that there was a new change, and I saw some changes from that, but all the changes that I saw were positive, and then that kind of rolled back later too. So I think if you ever wanted to know how messed up running a $1 billion company from home is, Google's giving us a great example of that right now, because to me it seems like the communication's screwed up, or someone's got some buttons and they're allowed to push them at home, and they're screwing that stuff up, and they're having a hard time keeping track of that. But that is not to say that there's some definite insight in those areas for us too. And one of those is look at directory sites. Google does not want to show local businesses, right? So you get the Angie's lists, in particular Angie's List, Home Advisor, Yelp, Trustpilot. All of those are really showing up high in the local search results, and they're bearing out real local websites. Why would they do that? Well, because those real local businesses are their bread and butter. They can't, if they don't rank, what are they going to do? They're going to buy ads, right? So they're going to pay for Google Guarantee. They're going to pay for Google Guaranteed Maps. They're going to pay for Google Ads, all because Google's algorithm is written specifically to keep local businesses out of the search results. Now, right now, they're limited to maybe 3 to 5 on average. You could probably see in there. And when they did that update, you saw there was absolutely zero in there. So it's a really interesting statement as to how the people that are running the algorithm and how they think. And then when you say that the before Google AdWords and search were kind of separate, and I believe just recently the guy who runs ads is also now running the search team. And then you see these changes. Just going to point that out to you, that there may be some internal pressure to get some more money, squeeze some more money, and wring small businesses dry. And in order to do that, you can't show them on organic search. They got to pay for ads, right? So I'd be real cognizant to watch out for that and be prepared for it. Tell your clients to be prepared for it. And if you're not already looking at alternative sources of traffic, you need to start doing that too. And you notice I didn't say if you're not already running Google ads. That's what they want you to do. Find alternative source of traffic. Get good at Facebook ads. Get good at Bing ads. Get good at Reddit and Twitter. If your market's over on Twitter, think about other things, and then user dollars drives interaction, and if we can get more people off of Google using search, then less, it could affect them in the long run. So we got to, just be aware of that, and call Google out when they need to be called out. And in this case, I think they need to be called out. Obviously someone's screwing with the algorithm and making it so local businesses can't rank. So I don't know. They should be called out for it, right? And hopefully that turns into something we can look at in the long run. All right, let's switch over to the screen. Wrong screen. There we go. This is SEO This Week, episode 171. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 stories in here. I think you'll enjoy, and then I got some tools and tips. I'll show you the tools specifically. I don't know if I showed them last time, so that's what I'm showing this time. And then this first one is actually from a Googler, Philip Walton. He's actually he's not one of those, I'm a former Google guy. No, he's actually working at Google. And he's setting this stuff up, and this is Google Analytics setup, and it goes beyond just doing the normal code that we all do, copy paste and put it in your header. He's showing you some ways to actually add to that and pull some more data out of it and build it all into your Google Analytics dashboard. If you're not the techie type like me, i.e., you'll have to read this a couple times. But the good point is you get a boilerplate, and you get a GitHub, and you get to ask them some questions and stuff like that, and it'll help you build this out. You get way more data out of your Google Analytics, which is really important, especially for SEOs. Ideally, being able to say to a client, if you're selling rankings, then you're in a good position because you get good rankings, right? And then you can say, well, here's the ROI from your rankings is the traffic. And then they say to return on to you, well, I'm not getting leads. And you say, well, I'm not the guy you got to talk to, because I am providing you with rankings and traffic. That's what you get. I'm giving you rankings. As a byproduct of that rankings is traffic. It's your job to return that into the sale. And then if you turn that again on top of its head, you have access to their website where you can change some things like putting a call tracking number and call recording on there. You turn into more than just their SEO. You turn into an advisor, and you can help them identify problems in their sales process to actually get better ROI, not only from your marketing as an SEO, but from all of their marketing. So when you generate a phone call, what do? What's happening to them right now? And what can we do to fix it, right? So I think that's some value that we get out of that. Next is an infographic and how to write SEO content that ranks. This one's actually really cool. And what they did, and I don't really want you to get the infographic. This is not the point of me sharing this one. Is look at what they did. They actually went to Brian Dean's skyscraper article and turned that into an infographic. That looks really cool, and turned the skyscraper article into an infographic, and then gave some additional insights beyond what Brian Dean did. So they essentially took his skyscraper technique, used it against him. Well, not necessarily against him, but applied it, but did it in an infographic format. And I think it's really cool. And you can do that, especially if you got some creatives on your team that can pump out infographics for you. So I'll check that one out. And then this is a link building case study, 33 links in 6 hours. I'll give you the short version. It's based off of Haro. Inside of there, I don't know about you guys, I have not gotten a whole lot of links out of Haro. As a matter of fact, I can't remember one time when someone actually responded to me when I sent that stuff in. However, there's a template in here. It shows you what to say to them, how to format your emails and send it off. It takes 10 minutes. And then potentially you can get some backlinks. So let's say you dedicate 30 minutes a day to Haro. I think that's a lot because, especially if you're in my market, for example, SEOs, and you're marketing an SEO website, there's not a whole lot of opportunity to get links from an SEO for an SEO website. But there are some markets in there that, get 3 or 4 different types of questions a day. So three questions a day, 10 minutes per question is 30 minutes. And then you get a potential to get backlinks, which I think is awesome for a 30-minute time investment. And if anything, maybe you get lucky one time, and other times you only get one, and then other times you get some results out of this. But check it out. It's a new look or a new perspective on Haro and how to leverage that for backlinks. And this one is it's a Google Data Studio template is mainly why I shared it. It's a log analysis for SEO. And the reason it's here and not in the tools and tips is because it's one of those things that everyone is talking about right now. Oh, let's examine the log files, see the crawls and all that stuff. But if you've ever looked at your log files, it's a big headache of a mess, right? And even I honestly, I just don't want to look at all of that noise, especially if I'm dealing with a local website. Really, at the end of the day, maybe I find some kinks and stuff. But when you get into the 10,000, 20,000, 8 million page website, the log files actually help you out and try to find some where things are getting jacked up. So knowing how to do that, knowing how to get the data easily, and then knowing how to put it into something you can actually read, i.e., the Google Data Studio template, is really valuable. So check this one out. If anything, just bookmark it or bookmark the Digital Ear episode. That way you can have it for when you want to delve into the whole log file madness that everyone's talking about. So there are some other analyzers too, just in case you didn't know. You don't have to use stick with Google Data. You can go into Screaming Frog. They have a log file thing too. So and I'm sure there's some other tools. I know for a fact there's some other tools where you can pump those into. Some of those are kind of expensive though. So just be aware of that. OnCrawl is a good example of that. All right, and then the tools and tips. Just kind of walk you through these real quick. You'll see those. This is through. It's a SERP analyzer. Not sure if I showed this before, but I think I did. But basically, what you do is you put your information in here, and pulls it out, and you can see your headings and all that other stuff, and just click through, write down all the search results, and get a nice little example of what's going on, and see some of the fancy numbers and just some correlations. You do that without having to run like a pop or a Quora, and it's actually really, really fast, and it's free. So check this one out. This is HTML table scraper. I don't know if you guys, like, I do a lot of zip codes, and you do mass page sites, etc., and you need to pull all that stuff out. Well, this will actually help you find the table in the code and then bring it, and then you'll be able to pull it right out in a CSV versus doing the old right click copy paste headache of doing a table, which, as you all know, can be a little cumbersome, and it's really hard to clean up all that data. So this will help you pull that out. I found this timely at a timely time. So this one is a bulk export of Google Trends rising keywords using Python. You got to know or want to know Python to actually get some benefit out of this, but is actually really, really cool. And you just kind of drop in there and pull a bunch of data off on your keywords. So you're doing one about, in this case, it's got camping, right? But we can do survivalist or whatever, and kind of highlight that stuff and bring a nice set of keywords. And then you can just go into your manual keyword research part and looking at conversions and all that stuff, and see if you can find offers for it. And this is a nice way to start that out versus just looking for search results. This is the trending stuff, right? So, and the script right here is in the Google Colab, so you're not rewriting everything. It's all right there for you. Again, you got to want to learn Python to leverage this stuff, but it'd be really useful, I think. Here's 30 marketing reports for Google Analytics. I clicked through a lot of these, and they're not in such a way that you can use them, but there's no way to copy them. Does that make sense? So I can populate it with the data that I want, but it's hard to pull it out and show it off to someone. So what I did is I just, I plugged in my data, and then I have a Google Data Studio PDF Maker Chrome extension. Use that, drop it in there, and rip it all out, and you're good to go. And again, these are just, there's some cool tips to make all your stuff. Maybe you'll find one or two in there that you can use and leverage, or if anything, take some screenshots and build them yourself inside of them. And then the last one is using Python and Google Sheets to do some more keyword research. This is specifically designed for local stuff. You get the sheets, the formulas, and then some ideas to make it all better, etc. And it's really, really well thought out. It's kind of technical, so just know that when you go in there, it's going to take you a couple times to get through it. It took me a couple times to get through it and making the sheets right, etc. But once you get everything going, you'll be all set up to leverage Python for this. So just another tool for keyword research to make your life easier. Hopefully you get some use out of that. I know that I certainly will. Yeah, that's really it for the news and the tips. Like I said, I want to keep those simple. No guests today. So what I did want to talk about, and I've been teasing before, is reciprocal linking. So I'm gonna take a drink here. If you guys have any questions about the tools and tips, go ahead and let me know. This would be a good time. Okay, I don't see any questions. Okay, so we're gonna go over reciprocal linking. So when I first heard reciprocal linking, I was like, hey, 2012 called and they want their link building back. And I don't say it when I first started, I just like recently. And the problem is, one, how do you set it up? Two, what kind of footprints does it create? Three, what kind of websites are you getting? Is it going to be good websites? Are going to be people's junk linking to your website, but your good website's linking to their good website, and you're getting crap in return. So those kind of issues are all came up, and then there's also structure. So I want to go over structure. I'm going to go some different ideas of structure and how to think about reciprocal linking. You can do this on mass, or you can do it within the businesses within your community. For your local clients, for example, you got a plumber, a roofer, and a bunch of other dudes, all your clients in Phoenix, for example, and you do set up a reciprocal linking between all your clients and kind of double down on your work. You can leverage it that way, right? So we'll look at that, and then I'll show you a cool thing we got going on now that gets me some money. All right, so hold on. Let's go to the old iPad. Told you guys I was getting the iPad, so I wanted to break out a new writing system. So we got this one because I like writing on these shows. It makes it more interesting. Okay, so let's see. There it is. All right, reciprocal linking, and then really there's, let's see, what's type one. Type one is site to site, right? Site to site, and really in a diagram it just looks just like this. You guys probably could do it with your PBNs or your own sites, etc. Your SEO site, for example, links to your plumber, and then your plumber in return sends you a link from the footer down here, because you have those. We all have, right, those little footwear. This website powered by blah blah blah, or this website designed by blah blah blah. It's all in there uh, for us to use. So this is one way to do it, and at the end of the day, there's really not a whole lot wrong with this one. The only thing that I've seen is in a con is that if this has exact match keywords in it, you could get a manual penalty if someone reports you. And so you get the narc SEOs uh, tell on you, and then the manual reviewers will look at it. They'll see your exact match keywords in the footer right down here. And what ends up happening is they'll do a review. You have 10 clients that are all doing this, and then they give you a manual penalty for it. I was working with an agency that had this very exact issue. Um, and they didn't want to change it, and it wasn't really like something a priority for them. Their agency site wasn't a priority, so they didn't care to lift the manual penalty. Whatever. When they could have just changed this to brand names, and then they would have been just fine, or even just moved it out for now. Said, hey, we took it all off, got the penalty lifted, and then waited like 6 months, and then went back and put them all back in place with the brand name anchor. That would have probably worked a lot better for them rather than just ignoring it. But okay, that's what they want to do. That's their business. So that's type one. Let's see. Hold on. I was checking for questions. Uh, Now, type 2 is it's a little bit more complex. And I think you guys have probably seen this little idea, but you have your money site, and setting these up is a pain. I tried to do this with a bunch of SEOs, and they really, it's a pain to go. And then this site links to this, and then this site links to this, and then this site links to this. And this is all reciprocal linking at the same time. So, uh, how this diagram works is Hayden has his website, and then Vinay and I each have a website. So here's Hayden's website, here's Vinay's, and here's mine. And we all wanted to do reciprocal linking, but we don't want to do this back and forth stuff, right? Because God knows there's going to be a footprint and people are going to find it, blah, blah, blah. So what we do is Hayden links to Vinay's website, and then in turn, Vinay links to my website, and I in turn link back to Hayden's website. So we're essentially got a nice link wheel going on, but we're using a reciprocal linking concept. And you can actually build these out pretty large if you want to. The biggest one that I did was like 15 sites. So if you think about it, there's 15 sites just kind of running around in this wheel. I think my drawing board's not going to have enough space. And everyone links to each other, right? And then I built this out. I had a whole bunch of SEOs. We all got together. We built this, and like always in our market, there's always somebody ready to ruin this whole model for everybody. So if one of these people, let's say this guy, wanted to remove his link, now the the benefit is broken again because this site doesn't get the compound juice from that, right? This site is giving away more juice, and then this site, it kind of rebuilds up again. But let's say if it's broken here and this owner doesn't know that, what happens is this guy doesn't get any benefit, so he's ranking everyone else. But this dude, he didn't want to continue to play along, and he screwed up that reciprocal linking function. This method actually it's harder to set up, and because there's so many hops, it makes it a little bit harder to see the results from this. But it's also harder for a someone to chase it down. If I was going to do this again, I would just probably have 4 websites in there, no more than that, to keep the hops down, to get to my website, to my target site. And then when you're setting these up, one other thing that you want to keep in mind is the metrics of the website, because you don't want a baby website with a, let's say you have uh, one here, and I'm just going to use UR, right? So let's say you have a UR 40, UR 40, UR 40, and a UR 20, and this site here shouldn't be in your ring. It's gonna bring down your numbers. It's not gonna provide you as much value as those other 40s. So when you're building this site out and you're looking for partners and you have some partner sites, make sure all the metrics are actually close so everyone gets a fair benefit of it. We're not trying to raise this number. We're trying to rank rankings, right? We're trying to increase rankings. But this number is just a good indication using metrics to determine the authority of a website and if it's worthwhile to link to. So I would keep that 20 out of the ring. Let's see. The next one is actually kind of old school, and you guys have probably already seen this one is a plugin. Um, and it's not any plugin, but this is this particular type of plugin, and you have your website going on, right? And then over here, here's your content, blah 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 blah. And you have your sidebar, and then over here is where all your relinking links are, and a lot of them are sponsors, that kind of stuff, our partners, all that gay stuff to make it fancy, so that you can go, oh, I'm linking out to these because we're partners. And Google's not dumb; they've already figured out that method. You can do it manually, kind of along the same lines as before. You just, you have four people who are all getting together, or four uh, clients in the same market, and you put them, or different markets, and you put all the links on all four of those. And at that scale, it's not going to be all that bad. But if you use a plugin to do it, what happens is it picks the sites for you, and all of these sites might not even be relevant to your website. And two, most of them are probably junk. And three, since there's no one looking inside of there and monitoring that for the most part, from what I've seen, there's not a lot of plugin creators that are monitoring that madness. You'll end up getting like adult in there, pills, gambling, porn, which not bad if you're in those markets, but if you're a plumber and you're linking out to an escort website, might be some issues, right? So that's one of the downsides, and the other one is those are so easy to find. The footprint is easy to find once you find a website using it, because most times the plugin developers are kind of lazy, and the footprints are actually um, in the code, and you can find specific lines mentioning the plugin name or etc., and then just go to type. All right, can you guys hear my sound now? For whatever reason, my Yeti screwed up. All right. If you get background and clicking and stuff, it's because I'm using the built-in microphone now. So that will be okay. There you go. And I'll just keep watching the track. Something happened with the OBS. It killed my my Yeti for whatever reason. All right, so let's go. Where were we at? Okay, so footprints. The footprints here actually get kind of ugly, and I've actually seen penalties come from this type of link. So I actually don't like doing those anymore. What happens is that the people follow it. It's Google. They got the time. They got the resources. They got the people. And then just go through and click all these links and then identify the whole network and just hand out manual penalties right along the way. Or even better is all of these websites that you're linking out to are, for lack of a better metric, PR zeros. And you're not getting any ranking power from all of them because people put their junk in there. to link out to other people, and then they put their good side in there to get links out from it, right? So you have to be really careful with using these plugins, or especially if it's doing this sidebar, or this old sidebar method that was really easy to pick out. Okay, so the and then the next one is another plugin. This is the one I actually prefer to use. And if you are in the NFG Rockstars, you've probably seen this. This particular, not NFG Rockstars, the NFG with Mike and Bradley. You've probably seen this, and then I got it, and I implemented it, and it actually works really well. So, and I like to call this one just the Type 4. So what this particular plugin does is it creates a couple features. One is the standard footer link down here. And on this footer link is actually two types of links that you get. There's some internal links on there, right? So it makes pages on your website for keyword and then news, for example. And then it has a bunch of content on it, and then it links to your page with the exact match anchor to your money page that you're trying to rank, or an internal page, or however that wants to do it. And then that's where the juice passes through those, right? So there's that one page that it creates, and then another thing that it does, and I got to delete this because I don't want the writing to get all crappy, is you have the sidebar, the footer links down here, and then it's got links down here actually that go out to the partners, the reciprocal linking partners on the website. And there's pages on there, right? So they go out to some of those people that are linking to your website. So there's some outbound right there, and you're like, oh, that's really easy to find, and there's a footprint there. And there is, if you know where to look for it. I'm not going to show that because there'll be some rat that goes and takes a picture of it and shows it to John Mueller, just because they're dumbasses out in the world and you want to keep them dumber, right? So I'm not going to show you the exact how it looks and where to find it. But it's not easy to find, and most of it's in the code. So this particular network is actually linking homepage to homepage, which is really awesome because all that juice flows through and it goes through the internals, and your homepage has the most of the power anyway. So at the end of the day, it's no big deal. But what it also does is it creates. Remember, I said before, those news pages, right? So what it does is it has a whole bunch of content, blah, 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 and then you have an exact match anchor, and internals exact match anchors don't matter, or good. And then you get the benefit, because you're in this network, you can actually get a page on this website. So if this was my website would have a page to Hayden's business, and I'm using Hayden because I see him in the chat. It's just easier. So you use Hayden's business, and he's actually creating the plugin creates a page for him. So Hayden put in this nice article inside of there, and then I say nice because the articles are manually reviewed and are not spun. It's nice, legit articles, right? Inside of that article, there's also NAP and links to social sites if you want to put those in there. You can do all that if you're doing the IFTTT stuff. And that page is now on my website linking out to Hayden stuff. So one website in the network is actually creating, so there's one link there's one link here, and there's a bunch of internal linking, and everyone's doing that to each other, right? And then the third benefit of that is, beyond that, is that unlike the plugin that we talked about before, the sidebar, this one is actually market based. And what that means is if you have a rehab niche market website, you're going to get links from other rehab sites or other health sites. You won't get links from supplement sites, for example, or real estate or plumbers. You'll only get links. You'll get links from that are in a similar market from you. So you get relevancy. You get 2 sets of backlinks, one from the home page and then one from that other page, and then the footprints are really cut down, and it actually gets a whole lot of benefit for it. So I think that's really, really cool. Now, let me show you. I wanted to show you some websites that I have this on, but thinking in hindsight, I'm probably not going to do that because I don't want to, 1, out the network, and 2, out my sites to some douchebag. So what I'll do is I will show you the sign up screen, and the link is in the description, the link service. You can check out more about it. There is actually a free option right here. You get 5 keywords. Keep in mind when you sign up, if you do sign up, and hopefully you do, but when you sign up for that free version right there, and you'll see it's on Digital Ear, you sign up for that free version, you won't get as many links as you send out, obviously, right? So you're gonna the plugin's gonna build links out on your site, but for like, and I didn't find the number. There's no set state number that, but if you're linking to 10 sites, you'll get 1 kind of thing. You know what I mean? So just keep that in mind if you're going to do the free one. And then there's a pay word. It's $50 per keyword for local, and then $70 for national. So what I do with my clients is I actually pretty much I drop them into the national for my obviously for national clients, and then local for local. And I only use the 5 keywords. Just because I want to keep it focused on what we're doing. If you sell your SEO, like you do 10 keywords or whatever, then obviously you can just kind of play with it however much you want to, right? And just you can select as many as you want to, depending on what you do. And then you install the plugin. And what happens is the team actually goes and manually reviews your website. They'll log into your site to make sure the plugin works. They manually review your website to make sure you're not trying to put some dud-ass site in there. And then they turn you on and let you go to town with it. And you see all the features, and it's everything. It's really cool. I would recommend that if you guys are watching this, get the free one, put some sites in there, and then test it out, see if you can get any results from it. And then if you are getting some results, then start putting your clients in there and get some free links out of it. People are talking about guest posts and all that stuff. The fact of the matter is Google's finding that stuff, or bringing more attention to it. Let's put it that way. And the more that they talk about it, the more people are going to be looking for alternative link sources. So this is one of the reasons I've been gone for a month. We hooked this thing up, and my mobile client, you guys have seen them. I've talked about them quite some time. They're doing well. Our rehab client, he just bailed because of a business relationship issue with the owner of OTT, but we plugged them in there. Full disclosure, they dropped. I freaked the fuck out because it was like a lot, and then it all came back higher in the places. So the surprising thing there is I was only doing one link building method, and it was primarily to one page. It was going to all the local pages. And what happened is the algorithm, I think it was Myyy, where I talked about we finally got hit by an algorithm, and it was those pages that didn't have any backlinks. And then once I put them into the system and start getting backlinks, we got everything back going again. And they were all relative backlinks that are related backlinks from other rehab sites and niches and that kind of stuff. And I actually got ranking improvements from them. So the system does work. It is manually reviewed. The setup is a little slow, but it's on purpose so that you can't put junk in there and you won't get junk back out. And the more you fill out the information's inside of the system to get it going, the better results you're going to get from it. Like I said, get the free one, do the 5 keywords, sign up, test it out, and then if you like it, bust up and do the upgrades and put your clients on it, and just save you your whole link building thing. It just build link for you on the fly. There is no link report, but you do get a ranking tracker email, and obviously that's not so you don't out the network, right? But I will tell you that Majestic and Ahrefs are finding these links pretty regularly. So, if you see them finding it regularly, Google's probably crawling the site regularly at the same time. So you get a little bit of an insight into how fast they are getting found and indexed, etc. When I first put one site in there, it took like a month to start seeing it in Ahrefs, and then now it's like boom, 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 regularly. New links are added, etc. As sites drop out of the network, the plugin takes care of that too, and it removes content. If your client stops paying, you just delete the plugin, all the pages and everything that they made on there that they may have been getting traffic from at the same time. Those all disappear, all the rankings disappear, and you just did it with a plugin. So I would check it out. Sam, the link's in the description. It says get links here and then link service. I guess I can. There you go. And then click on the link service. That's the one for this. What is your top 3 link building strategy for a new client? Well, brand new client, maybe never had SEO before, or maybe had shitty SEOs, and then that's local. So let's say that, right? First is the brand network, the whole IFTT network thing everyone's claiming about. I just build all those websites, and I build all those links, and I build out that brand to get the brand authority up. Don't necessarily mess with the ITT stuff much more, because those things, the connectors break and you got to maintain all that crap, and then if you're not paying attention, those networks can go a little bit crazy on you, and it's just not worth my time. So I build out the brand network, and my sheet is based off of Noam. There's like 600 sites in there or something like that. We got a hold of the list and then just kind of went through the list and found the really good links that were worthwhile and that were boosting our brand. So there's the first step. 2, assuming it's a local business, we get the citations in place. That's another set of links. Obviously, you get the NAP in there and the ranking benefit if you believe in that, but I think those sites are more important for the links. And it kind of just tells Google, hey, this is a real business, because this business is actually going out and doing that. And then 3, I drop them in here. I drop them in under the local service. Obviously, most of my clients are local anyway, so we'll do local service. If it's a national, we'll throw them in national, but most of my clients are local. And then finally, press releases as we go, as needed if we want it. And that's the top 4. And then the rest of it is all market based. What does the market call for? If market means I got to get some more PBNs, then I'll do that. If the market means I can do buy a couple of guest posts, then I'll do that. It just depends on the keyword and the competition and what they're doing and what I can do with it in return. So hopefully that answers that question. Xtoffer 77. So I don't know what happened with that mic. That's kind of irritating. So we'll see about fixing the microphone for next week. Professionals, like Ted used to say, we're all his professionals around here. So hopefully you like the reciprocal linking talk. If you guys aren't trying out reciprocal linking, you don't have to use my service. Use somebody's or even anybody's service. Like I said in the videos, get with some friends and kind of interlink with that, or do interlink your clients if they're in the same regions, for example, but not in the same competing markets. Then that's a good thing to do. Stay away from those plugins that use and leverage sidebars. Not really a fan of those links, and as I pointed out, they're really easy to find in the network. You can just send a manual reviewer over there and bust the network like that all day long, and if you wanted to. And sidebar links aren't really as good as in content and text links. So, and then check out the Autopilot SEO platform I just shared. The link is in the description. It says link service in the description. Check that out. Again, get the free one. Money's cool, but get the free one so you can actually test it out, make sure it's going to work for you. And hopefully it does. Let's see. The last question is from Sam. How long does it take to rank a real estate listing? How many links? The last real estate client I had was in Olympia, Washington, and the actual listings for address and address variations are pretty damn easy at the end of the day, because there's no competition for them, right? I mean, Google will show the Zillows and the Redfins and all that stuff on top of those for a while, but if you've got a nice, well built out real estate site, it'll take over those addresses actually really fast. Like, you can do it in the first month and just kind of rinse and repeat with every listing and get them up there really quick, especially after you get your SEO template down for your market area. And I was doing that all day long. The problem is the home for sale Olympia. Those kind of keywords, forget it, man. You're going against Zillow, Redfin, and a bunch of others, and they're all embedded into the search results, and Google is not going to give way. The highest we ever got that particular client for in the keyword was specifically in the local area, like dead center of Olympia. We could search for home for sales and we see them at number 4, right? But actually going after that on a broad scale, like I'm in Arizona, and if I'm looking for houses in Utah, man, you're gonna spend a whole shit ton of money trying to do going after those words. It's gonna take you some time. So it's not that it can't be done, but make sure that when your agent, and I would also recommend you kind of refrain from the agents, because they're live and die on their commissions, work for brokers who, if you don't know the difference, agents send their deals through brokers. Brokers facilitate all the paperwork and blah, 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 right? Title companies and all that madness. The real money in real estate is the brokers. And a broker has a whole bunch of agents out for them, and those people can actually spend the advertising dollar a lot longer than a single agent who's, especially if they're commission based, you know what I mean? So those kind of guys, those people, I would actually just build out the site, target a really refined local area, build the brand and their name out, and then hit the addresses and just kind of get them seen more and more. And that's more so that they are, when they're selling a property, they can go to their sellers and this is what we're doing. Here's your site. Look, it's already ranked number 1, blah, 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 showing it off. And if you're in Manhattan, That'd be tough. So in the pre-COVID, Manhattan real estate market was really competitive, right? And now the pricing in Manhattan, according to the latest reports, I guess, like dropped like 30% and is going to keep going. So that could be an indication that the competition inside of SEO might be a little bit less. On the flip side of that, there's a lot of people leaving or planning on leaving. There's a whole group, Facebook group of like 10,000 New York City residents that want out. So all those vacancies are going to come, and then maybe the competition increases in SEO at the same time. So I would actually, if I were to use Sam and you had specific buildings, I would rank for the building names. Apartment inside of the building, apartment at this address, that kind of stuff. Especially if they're well-known buildings in the Manhattan area, then you can actually take advantage of that a whole lot better. Or even some kind of obscure ones, like let's say your building is nestled next to, oh hell, I don't know, the World Trade Center Memorial. You can kind of play on that. Be a little bit careful with that, but you can kind of play on that. It's next to the Memorial. It's next to Broadway. It's next to this famous, the Trump Tower or whatever. You know what I mean? Versus trying to go after homes for sale in Manhattan. Because unless your client's got a deep ass pocket, where you're going to need a lot of PBN stuff and that kind of stuff to get after it for a home for sale in Manhattan, apartments for rent in Manhattan, those kind of keywords. So. Okay, hopefully that helped, Sam. Appreciate all the questions, everyone. I'll say it one more time. Whatranks.com. The schema course is there. The core course is there. If you buy the schema course, you get the core course for free. And magic.digitalear, the links in the link service. Check it out. That's a reciprocal linking platform, and it's free for 5 keywords. So you really got nothing to lose to test it out, at least, right? So if you have any questions on any of those, hit me up on the in the YouTube comments, or you hit me at Skype. Pretty easy to find, clint.a.butler. And I'll see you all next week. Thanks for watching.